Happy New Year. Marching into 2019, stronger than ever here at Bankwood Bear. 20 subscribers on the YouTube after dropping the Roger and Barbara Cressy bomb that was episode 24 over the Christmas period. We're up to 153 likes on the Facebook page, so big shout out to anyone out there who is either subscribed or liking this on the FB, much appreciated. 2019 promises to be a big year for Bankwood Bear Productions. We've got 7 or 8 prime pods from the summer of 2018 and through to the winter. Also going to have a series of podcasts coming straight out of Malawi. The Central African country of Malawi will be a pretty big focus, I imagine, of what the pod will be over the coming months. And hopefully this pod should give you a bit of a sense as to why that would be the case. Now, I was lucky enough to meet a man by the name of Henry Kajirange back in 2017 in the autumn when I was in Cape Town. I was lucky enough to stay at the hostel called Stoked in Muziensburg, Cape Town. A glorious little spot, and even luckier to meet Henry, the hostel manager and all-out character, share a number of really great conversations with the man over a couple of weeks. A few months later, obviously, I'd started the pod and decided, well, now's the time. So we connected via Skype, and we just have a 40-minute conversation, really, just to run through his background, then obviously how he himself, Malawian, came to be a hostel manager in Cape Town, South Africa. Also, we get on to talking about his own NGO by the name of Kingfisher, which he started back in 2016 in the hope to promote his local people, his local village, and build it up from the ground up to be a sustainable community focusing on education and industry to try to encourage Malawians not to jump the borders to Zimbabwe or South Africa, but to stay in Malawi. Throughout the pod as well, there's sort of musings on the education system as a whole, of which I go off on a bit of a tangent again. But there's also his vision for the world and Africa. So it gets, again, it's quite nice and utopic at the end. But he really is a fascinating fella, from coming out of Malawi when he was in his teenage years and heading to South Africa and then working his way up through the townships and, as I say, into a position where he's not only a hostel manager, a beautiful hostel in Cape Town, but also a founder of his own NGO back in Malawi, and a truly inspirational man. And I'm not lying to you, Henry is the reason I'll be heading out alongside a friend of mine named Rosie in a couple of weeks to Malawi to see what he's doing out there, how the NGO work he's created is helping, and B, just get a feel for Malawi itself. So as I say, there'll be a lot more podcasts I imagine coming out of Malawi. But before I head, as well as ever, 2019 is a year of the guest host. I can feel it, you know. So again, if you've got a feel you want to try something like this yourself, but don't have a way to market it or get your podcast out there, get in touch, please. I can more than happy to help and share the platform. So yeah, for now I'll leave you with Henry Kajirange's story, which is quite a difficult one to top, I must say. But enjoy this one. Play it.
I'm Henry Kumwenda Kajirange from Malawi. I'm 35 years old. I was born in Malawi and grew up there. Studied in Malawi since standard 1 up to standard 8. And then I finished my primary school. I went to high school. I did it at home, even though our schools in Malawi, they are not that good like as they are in England. It's quite opposite direction. It's a very, very low class whereby we go 8 kilometers to a primary school while you are 7 years. Sometimes we even don't know why we are going to school. It's just like the parents, they say, go to school, but the distances are very, very far to think like, why did we go to school?
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I finished my school in primary, then I went to secondary school without no school fees. Some of the politicians, they know my mom, so they helped me to go to high school, struggles, and then from there I finished. I went to technical college where I did 1 year there, but the second year I had to run away because the conditions were not good for me.
Right.
But according to the payments of the school, it was good. The person that was paying me, he was always paying me the fees. But the condition of living in Malawi and the brain of childish, I had to jump into South Africa. So that's why now I am here at Stocked Backpackers, meeting George from UK, and now we are in interview.
Hey, that was a great summary, H. Nice job. So, first of all, welcome to the show. So that was probably the best opening to a show I've had. Usually it's me rambling for like 5 minutes about what's going to happen, but you were straight in there, H. Loved it, mate. Henry, I've known you for, I guess coming up to 6 months. 6 months or so. I was in Cape Town probably September last year. Stayed at Stoked Backpackers. Had a great time. Me and you went on 3 or 4 hikes up at the back of Muziensburg. Beautiful spot.
Yes.
Yeah, loved it, man. And then since then we've kept in touch. And I thought, right, it'd be great for you to get you on a podcast and sort of try and share your story. So that's to where we are right now. So thank you, man. So a little bit on how we met. Obviously, I was travelling around for about a month just in Cape Town, just checking it out. Heard a lot of good things about Stoked from a lot of people. So if you could talk a little bit about Stoked, where it is, what you guys do, the location, that'd be great.
Yeah, we are at Stoked Backpackers. Next to the train station, there is a beach around us, surrounded with the beautiful mountains. As you said, they were good when you came and hiking with us. Up to now, we are doing a very good job. Since we started, we are even accommodating big groups, gathering and 3 meals a day. Yeah, so it's good. And since I started that, it was like 6 months. Then I get married to my wife, staying here at Stoked Backpackers, because I arranged, like my wife and me, we never meet, but it was just arranged marriages. So we married at Stoked Backpackers.
Wow. Did you really? I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
Oh, so you married your wife at Stoked?
At the Backpackers, yes. It was not just like I proposed. Someone did the job, like proposing a woman for me.
No way.
I left home 10 years. That time I was in South Africa for like 8 years. And when my wife came, and then, that's how I met my wife.
That's crazy, man. Well, is that a normal thing in Malawi to do that?
Yeah. It's a culturally promoted thing. Like a son doesn't have to choose a woman. The parents, they can choose the wife for the son.
Wow. That's
it's a culture of disease, I can say, but it's good for us. It works.
Yeah, that's great. That's the main thing. And so how long have you been married to your wife?
4 years, yeah.
Fantastic. And you have a daughter, is that right?
Yeah, we have a daughter, yeah. Her name is Rachel, yes.
Ah, beautiful. How's she doing?
No, she's doing good.
Fantastic.
She even now called Daddy. She has got some few teeth in her mouth, so it's good.
Oh, good.
She's
that's
coming up.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, so 3 years ago, just after I married my wife, I met a girl from UK. She came to Muziensburg to volunteer, and there was this big organization that took a little bit of her money, which was supposed to go to the charity work.
Okay.
So when she came to see me and my wife in the shop, I didn't understand what really she was doing. So after asking her is when I understand what she was doing here in Muziensburg. Then I had a meeting with my wife, if also we can open an organization whereby volunteers, they can come and help us. So now I'm talking on behalf of Kingfisher, the company that when we were hiking and going to township, I was talking always about it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, it seems like a beautiful foundation, and a really pure drive behind it. So I really want to get onto that for sure a bit later on. So really, if we go back to sort of yourself and how you came to become sort of this organizational leader and hostel manager in Cape Town. So obviously you moved to South Africa at what age were you when you left Malawi?
Yeah, so I left Malawi when I was like 20s, very young, because my father have got cousins in Pretoria.
Okay.
So with the poverty in Malawi, like if you go to school, you finish school, there's no job. My uncle just kind of tricked me, like just come to South Africa because he could see like I can be potential. If I come to South Africa, I can do some jobs so I can help the family. So instead of him taking his money helping people he didn't have, so he just can't tell me like maybe I must just stop what I'm doing so I can come and work in South Africa, because in South Africa there is high potential of working, whether foreigner or what. So yeah, when I can say 15 years ago, yeah, then I had to come to South Africa. I came here very young, and I stayed in Pretoria with my cousin. So after I stayed, yeah, partying in South Africa a lot, like drinking and smoking, all of that childish stuff I did.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I moved to Pretoria after 2 years of staying there, since I moved in South Africa. So I moved from Pretoria to Cape Town, to Masiphumelele Township. I'm sure you saw it, the township.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You took me there one time for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I moved there like 2007 is when I moved there. I was staying with my brothers, and yeah, I stayed very fine. Local Xhosa people, they are very accommodating when it comes to other black nationalities in Africa. The Xhosas are very good to us here. So I stayed there like a young boy, and there was this family taking care of us. It was good,
Oh.
even though the conditions of living was not that good, because in one room sometimes we can stay like 5 people. All of us were like one family.
Wow.
And yeah, the landlord won't be chasing us away. They will be just like take care of each other. And I remember that time is when Zimbabwe was very in a high crisis, 2008, when a lot of Zimbabweans, they moved to South Africa. And yeah, South Africa was at a very high demand of receiving refugees and just people coming from Malawi to South Africa. It was really hard times, 2007 to 2008.
Wow.
That time when 2009 it came down a little bit, and 10 it came down a little bit.
Okay.
So you did mention how did I find a job at Stoked, right?
Yes. Yeah. 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 If you could.
Yeah. So as we staying in the township, then I was trained in a woodworking skills in Pretoria. So when I came to Cape Town, I didn't want these other jobs because I was skilled in working in the wood. So I started working for Table Mountain. They do decking. They do their own buildings, like in Komiki. If you Google Komiki, there's a lodge there, Table Mountain Lodge, that we build, and it's where I met the owner of Stoked. He came like, also we must go and build his house with wood and sandbags. So there's these houses that you can build from sandbags, just sand from the beach, filled it up, and then you build it. Very nice house. So
Wow.
it's where I met the owner of Stoked. That was 8 years ago as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you got to talking with the owner, and one thing led to another, and you struck up a friendship, or how did it work from there?
So when I was working Komik, I was kind of a foreman, and then the contractor talked to the owners of Stoked, and then the contractor found the job there. So the first thing that we went there to start building his house in 2008, and we started digging the foundation and all of that, and then we started knowing the owner. But with our understanding of English, then the owner lady of Stoked, she kind of liked me and my cousin brother, and we became friends.
Excellent.
So after even we finished building his house, we were always friends. I remember at some point I had to run out from the job because it was very hard working, like cement and all of that. So I started, I thought working in the sea catching tuna is a simple job. Well, it was more harder than just working at the building site.
Yeah.
So I had to run 2008, early 2009 to work in the sea catching tuna. I catch tuna from 2009 to 10.
Wow.
And this where I called back my bosses, the owner of Stock, to the man, like, I need job. And then, yeah, he made me a personal assistant so I can help him, because he does not only do the stocked backpackers. That time he was just like a filmmaker, he was a photographer.
Wow.
That time he didn't have stocked. Yes, so we're talking of 2010. Then I could do a little bit of his garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. And then since then, you've obviously become hostel manager at Stokes now. In the last few years, when did you get that role?
So it was quite a process for me to become a stocked manager, because when I was working at his house, he owns a big house in Scarborough, and then there was some renovation going on at his place. And then whenever you want to go out, the person that you can live and trust, it was me, even though there was a lot of workers. So I could manage his house like everyone, even the builders and all what. I would say, do this, do that. He would just everything. He was leaving in my hands. So in that kind of thing, he thought that there's humanity in me, and he was very happy to promote me in anything that I'm doing. So since I managed his house, and then one day we was coming from very far, we were taking pictures from like winelands. Then he said, yeah, Henry, there's an opportunity that we can open a hostel or backpackers in Muziensburg. But that time I was not knowing what he's talking about. But I said, oh, that's good for you, Graham. Then it means it's good, because he's good at hiring people, giving people opportunities.
Yeah.
So I said, good, please open it so you can give people some jobs. Then he said, yeah, we'll need a manager. Then I said, oh, like a hotel. So it means he needs someone who is very educated. Then he said, yeah, he will need someone who is educated. But he said, before we look for someone educated, he promised me to bring my CV. So my
beautiful.
CV to bring to him, with one of the CV, it was himself. So I just say, I'm sure I'll bring my CV, but one of the differences is you. So I think you just better give me the job. So without that,
good man.
I get my CV, and then because he was like my brother and he was my boss, so that I say, you know that I can do the job. Yeah, so 2012, October, is when they moved me from Aspomelere to Stock to Backpack as one of the rooms downstairs, as you saw it. And then, yeah, we started working then, and yeah, it was 50-50, like do that. And then at night, I would sit at the front desk, because it was just me and the owner lady working.
Wow.
And then the gentleman, he was working in the kitchen, like cooking and all of that. So I was trained twice a day. I could do admin and I could do the cooking, and then sometimes I could even wash windows. Sometimes I could help even washing rooms and all of that. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's how I came to Stoke. Yes.
That's quite a tale. So so now you live in Stoke now? You got your own room at Stoke, is that right?
Yes. Now, since I started working at Stoke, I've been staying at Stoke.
Perfect.
I've never moved from Stoke. When I move on Stoke, it means I'm just gone for 1 month to Malawi for holiday.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Oh, perfect, man. If we can we touch back on the township, really? Because I know that's obviously something that's been a huge part of your life, the townships in Cape Town. Could you explain to people really who so a lot of people won't really understand the townships and the different cultures that are sort of, it's quite a bit of a melting pot, isn't it? It seemed the township. So please.
So the township in general, to talk, because I moved there 2007, and most of the kids and old members there, I know them, and they treat me like a kid there.
Yeah.
And then when I moved, years later, when I moved to Muziensburg, there were these two young ladies from United States. They just wanted to visit township. So I talked to my owner lady, like, I can do this, and I've been there for a long time, so I don't mind taking them. And my intentions was not to charge money, but just to take them there. And I remember the first ones they did with 70 rand each, transport to go and come back. And then, I had like maybe 50 rand in my pocket.
Yeah.
Because that time transport was like 5 rand for taxi. So so when we came back, the tourists, they were very happy, and they talked to my boss that I'm doing a good job, because first when I get in, I show them the clinic, a library, I showed them the kindergartens, I showed them the wetlands, I showed them the bars, I showed them a lot of things, how we live. As you all seeing, it's 40,000 people living in 2 kilometers by 6 kilometer yard.
Wow. Yeah.
In a place where there's no hospital, it's just a clinic, and the school, primary school, is very small.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that's the township. Yes.
Yeah, but it's quite a melting pot in terms of the different ethnicities and cultures you've got in there. So, like you said, there's lots of Zimbabweans. I imagine there's Malawians, there's Xhosas, there's obviously, yeah. How many different cultures are in in the townships usually?
Culturally, to count them, how many are there? It will be quite of a problem because all African countries they are in there. So if
Right.
you're talking of Tanzania, Nigerians, Malawians, and you know these countries they have got all different cultures. It's like thousands and thousands of cultures are living in there because
Wow.
with all different tongues. Like in only South Africa, we have got 11 tongues. So in Namibia, how many tongues they have? So we are talking all of African countries they are in there.
Wow.
So it's quite a lot of tongue speaking, but mostly it's Zimbabweans and Malawians and South Africans
Okay.
and the Nigerians. They are there too.
Right, I see. Yeah. No, that's it absolutely incredible in terms of how everyone can still get along and work. Obviously, there's a lot of crime in townships.
So So there's this African understanding of our culture, like smiling of each other, giving each other some salt and sugar, sit around and talk about having more wives and more girlfriends.
Yeah.
That keeps us together because it looks like a lot of us we are interested in stupid things, So yeah, we like to be together,
It's amazing. No, it's amazing. It's a real, there's so much we can learn.
The most promotion that we have is not about just discriminating, but it's just like, yeah, we like marrying a lot of wives, having more girlfriends, and drinking a lot. So our society is good. It's good.
Yeah, no,
so
absolutely.
We don't mind being together.
Yeah. That's good. That's the key, eh? So on that then, so obviously you touched on now you run township tours. So you go out to your old township a lot of the time and take foreigners around, really just to educate them and show them the reality of life in Cape Town, I imagine.
Yes. When I take the people into townships, the most thing that I need them to understand is how we are living and how happy we are. Because most of the people, when we take them to township, what they think is that people are in poverty, and maybe sometimes they will think that they are doing a tour in a zoo, but that's not kind of right because 60% of township people, they work in the white suburbs and we are living together. But it's just like a tourist. They must come there and see what exactly is happening and what the government is doing to us and what is not doing to us. And it's also good for the tourists to understand and accept that sometimes maybe they are born in a better place than
Absolutely.
the others. So it's just a matter of understanding and educating yourself, because only when you travel is when you can have the good ideas. So let's say me in a few years, you invite me to come to England. It means I'll at least adapt your kind of staying there, and then I'll bring it to Africa, as you have just done. You was in Africa, now you are that side. Now you can fully understand and explain to the youth there that no, sometimes people they live this way, but they never complain, because I understand also sometimes in UK there's a lot of complaints, just like maybe the water busted in a pipe, then they're like shit England, shit that.
Yeah,
So those kind of things. But when you jump in Africa now, then you find that there's no road, there's no nothing, there's just people smiling and everything is poverty. So that's why we take them to be there and they can chat with the kids. And like Lowe's.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Rosie. Township.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she did a township at the first time, and then she went back, and now she goes and she can donate to that woman that we saw, and it's very good. She's doing a good job. It's just about seeing what is the problem and picking up something that you can help. So that's all about in the township, and people they can get help. No matter that, it's like I also find out that instead of me just asking from people like, help me 100 rand, help me that, help me that.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to work at Stockton and offer people some tours like hiking or townships, so that people they donate to my charity that I'm doing, is whether they donate to Malawi or they donate to township. When I take them there, I don't mind. I don't mind. It's just like it's good for me to be stick to do things that are good for our lives.
Good man.
That's what I do.
No, absolutely. No, I found that really incredibly inspiring, I must say, mate. So, yeah, because obviously, so you're running these tours, and then all a lot of the time it links back to your charity in Malawi. So the money you raise from any tours that you do, you put into your charity, or like you say, back into the township themselves. Which is
Normally it goes 20% to 10% to the transport up and down, 5% to the food that they eat there, 30% we give it to the township here, and then 30% to my organization. So once it goes to my organization, it can help in the township or it can help in Malawi to my organization. And then once these people, they do the township tour, they get my card, and then they are welcome to donate. And then once it goes to the donating thing, it's when it goes to Malawi, where it's supposed to be going, where I started the charity organization. But my aim is that now the way the charity organization in Malawi is going is just a few steps that I should take, like to put things in paperwork so that volunteers, they know what they're doing. And then maybe we'll be starting another one in Zimbabwe so that we can help also people in Zimbabwe.
Fantastic.
And then it will finally go to Eastern Cape, where it's a village for the other people. I want to make sure that maybe I learn 3 organizations where if I can learn a big organization, like stepping in 3 countries where people, they can volunteer and help with sports after classes. Swimming, hiking, and all of that. Yes.
Fantastic. So that leads us quite nicely on to Kingfisher itself. So, how long have you been running Kingfisher? And can you just sort of give everyone an idea of what Kingfisher is and what the idea behind it is? That'd be great.
The charity normally we started 2015. Is when my wife and I officially, like, now we can start helping people. So the first volunteer that we have, she was a girl from Namibia. She went and told me what I should be doing, and then I had guys from Israel, and then they took pictures to build the first pictures of the website. And then we had a guy from Canada, and then we have another one from Canada, and then just people were just popping in for a few weeks and all of that. So we started exactly 2 years ago.
Okay. And what's the idea behind it?
The idea behind the charity work is to promote local people, especially in Malawi, whereby they finish school and they don't know what they are doing. But I understand that if we can tell the kids, girls and boys, like start our own swimming programs like Lake Malawi, we can start our own hiking teams, like there's a lot of mountains. Maybe if kids, they finish schools, they like agriculture, then we can give short classes for agricultural skills. All of those kind of things, like easy courses, so that we can promote local people, not that they mustn't jump the borders, like maybe going to Zimbabwe or going to South Africa without doing something and trying something at home. That's the main thing I am of Kingfisher. Let's say in South Africa, in Eastern Cape, everyone they just come to Cape Town, and then when they come to Cape Town, they're like, oh no, we thought like the life is good, and then we end up like staying in shacks and all of that. So it's better to promote people in their areas, and they can understand how the soil is good, they can farm on it, they can do sports, and it's also a program whereby it work hand in hand with government to see where things are going wrong, and we can promote people to have what they need. They say if our organization manager, he found out that the hospital doesn't have medicine, doesn't have beds, doesn't have all of so that they needed. It's also our understanding to go to government and ask them, why are the people not getting help? The more thing that I'm worrying about Africa is the leaders are all promoting free, healthy, free education, which is not happening. So let's say the leader stand there with his tie, then he said, when I win my votes, I'll give everyone free education.
Yeah.
I'll give everyone free healthy things. These things are expensive. There's nowhere where a person can go and get a free medication. Everything is selling, but the leaders are lying their teeth out to tell people things that they are not are
Yeah.
really happening. So
Right.
this is what my program want to go into and tell the government, like, please don't lie to people, because the more you lie to people, the more people they die, the more people they become criminals. It's better for African people to be told, like, now you can be paying 100 rand for your medication a month, or now you need to pay for your education 50 rand, because everything is expensive. The teachers, they need to get paid. The doctors, they need to get paid. The sports people, they need to get paid. We can't promote free stuff. Let's work for it and have it. So this is what Kingfisher is looking to it, to make people understand that there's nothing for free. Yes, you can have freedom, but freedom doesn't mean like you don't have to go to farm. You don't have to build your own house. Freedom is there, like you can talk what you need, but in a respective way. That's
Mm.
what Kingfisher is looking into, those things. Other than that, I don't help only orphanages that their parents they died of HIV or other diseases. I help everyone, kids that parents can't afford, including the ones they are orphanage. So in Africa, there's this organization. They just say their parents are dead, or the ones that their parents died with HIV. I think that's also not promoting people to do the right way, because someone is very good in class, his father is there, but his father doesn't know the need of school. He can't help the kids. So if we take those kids and educate them and tell them that it's only by helping and then you can help the others. That's the thing I think it can promote Africa. I'm here also not talking only about Malawi, but I started at home because I was born there. I'll start there. I will start sweeping my house, but I don't mind also contributing to Africa as a continent,
Mm.
because the problem is not lying only in Malawi, but the problem is lying in all African continent.
Hmm. Hmm. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think the one thing that stuck with me from what...
Are you there, sir?
Yeah, yeah, I'm still here, still here. Yeah, but one thing that really struck me when I was out with you was your commitment to sort of improving your roots, changing home, because that is your home. So if you can't change your own home country, well, how do you expect to change anything else? You know, so that's something I really respected and learnt a lot from. You know, so that's a big driver for me even now. You know, looking at Britain and saying, well, you know, I could go abroad, and I'm sure I could do go to India or something like that, and try to help out, or Africa. But at the same time, there's a lot of work that needs to be done here in Britain, you know, to try and eradicate some of this ignorance that is pretty difficult to get rid of, it seems. So yeah, that's something that really struck a chord with me, you know, and I learned a lot from you in that respect. So yeah, cheers for that. But I think you're absolutely right. It all lies in the education. No, it's sort of like, well, we need to really improve the education side, and if we can get that nailed, and really understand, well, you know, there should be core principles that globally we should be teaching. You know, there should be almost a global curriculum that allows everyone to come up and have the same sort of education. But obviously, it's getting everyone on the same page and breaking down some of these rivalries that we have everywhere, it seems. Do you agree with that?
Yes, the more problem is lying on our leaders, telling people that things that they shouldn't do, or promoting things that, because once you put health or you put education into right place, activities in right place, if once you give youth enough things to do, then there will be no problem. But once the youth they don't know what they are doing, then now you are increasing sexual harassment, criminal of stabbing people with knives.
Mm.
But if you listen that you are promoting in Africa doing farming work, southern kids just doing sports work, people they must watch. It means all these kids of dying in the street with knives and getting locked with the pen, they will finish.
Yeah.
But the leaders standing there like, I'll give you free education, while he knows that there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
No. So those are the understanding that we should stop. Let's say in my village, we're building a school. Someone from Germany helped us to build a bridge. The community, we are planting 200 trees. So these kind of things, they'll promote kids like to know like, oh, if I don't have to do anything, I can go and have a nursery of trees, or I can go and help at school to mold bricks for the school that we are building,
Absolutely.
or I can help my parents do something that is good, or I can go for sports. So these are the things that, since I started this organization, I can see kids that, yes, we will help you. A few days ago, I had this youth football team helping me planting 200 trees at the Lumpi Hospital. It was very nice for me to hear from them that, of course, yes, we'll go and plant it Henry. I was thinking that maybe they say, no, 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 we need money. But they say, no, let's promote our village with our own hands and do the right thing. So the problem only relies on the leaders who they are corrupt, who they don't want to promote the local people to do the right thing. And we, as Africans, we still have good time. The soil is nice, the weather is good. It's just a matter of us getting good education so that we can do the right thing.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's a gorgeous place, I must say, and I'm very excited to come out and see Malawi. Hopefully next year. I'm really excited to come and see your place. So the campsite itself, you were saying, is right on Lake Malawi, so it's a beautiful place if you want to come and volunteer and get a feel for exactly what you're doing. Could you just sell it really, Henry?
Yes. Like a few days ago, I had a couple, one South African boy and one girl from United States. Their boyfriend and girlfriend. They stayed at the campsite for 2 weeks, and I think I'll send you some few pictures that they took from there.
Please, yeah.
They said it was really, really amazing. People are very nice, but what is lacking is education, understanding what am I doing today, and what is it I'm doing today. It will help my grandkids. So people, we promote sex by producing a lot of condoms and marriages. Someone marrying 7 wives. As Africa, these are the problems that we need to look into, and as leaders, they need to understand that we need to stop this. You see, leaders of Africa, we have got very educated leaders, but once we see in them is just criminal mind. In Congo, since I was born, I was young, I could hear Congo, Zaire, Congo, what? Up to date, people are dying in Congo, and these educated people, they can't just put stop to killing innocent people. How can these countries, with well-educated people, sending soldiers to protect good people in Congo, while the soldiers are trained to be criminals? And they say, no, we are sending thousands of soldiers to protect people, and they are killing our innocent soul, African soul, young kids, mothers, and grandfathers. I don't know what I say, but really, these kind of things that are happening in Africa are one of destroying Africa. So with our program, Kingfisher, I will make sure also I touch in African countries in a good manner so that we can come and make Africa as one and understand that we are all human beings.
Beautiful.
We don't have to kill each other. After all, we are just passing. After 50 years, a human being is finished lifespan. You're just waiting for your death. So we don't have to carry guns and kill each other. In my heart, I don't feel like we can make knives for killing people. We can make guns for killing people. This is a world where the nature is beautiful. We need to be understanding that we just need to plant trees. We need to plant not big houses or whatsoever. We can have nice playing grounds. As Africans, we can invite Europeans to come, people in overseas, UK, you can come and sit with us without barriers. Also, we can go to Europe or overseas and have a nice life.
Absolutely.
That's what we promote. That's what we must promote.
Yeah.
But if you see on the newspapers, it's like America is making thousands of guns. These France have made billions of shooting fighters, aircraft.
Yeah.
These are things that they are destroying the world for nothing. But with our understanding as youth, if we come together, let's promote sports, agriculture, education, healthy, pray with each other in good. And nowadays, this technology, these are the things that we must spend time on, not these of destroying the world as it is at the moment.
So true. No, I completely agree with that, and I think it's important to sort of drive that point home. Certainly in terms of what we can do these days, we're so blessed with technology, with the internet and the ability for me and you to have this conversation and then record it as well, put it on the internet, market that conversation, and say, look, here's 2 completely different worlds. I'm a middle-class farm boy from England, and you're a Malawian hostel owner in Cape Town. It's madness. You'd never be able to do this 20 years ago. No chance. Yeah, exactly. And now we're having a conversation from the comfort of my home and your home, and it's and still having this idea and this ability to converse and almost and reach an audience of billions, you know, through the internet if they want to listen. So I find it fascinating. I think we're really lucky to live in the era we are, and I think there has to be a big change coming. There has to be in the next 10 years. If there isn't, then I'll be thoroughly disappointed. I really will. I think we're far too educated. We're far too aware now. We can't claim ignorance anymore. We can't, because you watch a YouTube video and someone will have been to pretty much every spot on earth and gone, this is what life is like right here. And you go, okay, well now I can't be ignorant of how, you know, a guy in Papua New Guinea is living. I can't, because now I know. I've seen it on video on a YouTube clip. So yeah, you know what I mean. So there has to be a big shift, and I think as you touched on it, it fundamentally comes down to morality. It comes down to people actually living by a set of moral code, a normal moral code. You know, so whether that be a Christian code or a Muslim code, you take what's pure and good about that religion. Don't kill, don't steal, all that stuff, and don't lie, don't cheat. Makes complete sense, and you feel good when you actually follow that code. When you break that code, you naturally feel a bit bad, and that's what politicians and people have been doing for centuries, millennia, really. And they're not all bad, and they're all good people at heart, I'm sure, but they just get corrupted by the world we've lived in. So why don't we change the whole thing, you know? So yeah, it's going to be fascinating, I think, Henry. But it really, yeah. This is why I love conversations with yourself, you know, because it proves that, yeah, we're all going to be all right in my eyes, you know. We just got to keep doing what we're doing and preaching what we're preaching, I guess.
On the same conversation, what the world should see and say to people, the truth is, if I'm helping someone, it doesn't mean I'm asking it back in 5 years or in 10 years. I'm helping someone so that in future they have got energy to help the others. So most of the things that are happening is like, oh, I will do you this. When you finish, give me this so much. So it's like slavery and slavery and slavery. But if we promote this kind of sports and education in different cultures, people to understand the nature, then that's good. Because even in other African countries, you just go, someone is cutting bushes for maybe in 1 kilometer, he's just cutting the bushes. If you ask him, why are you cutting these bushes? Then you just say, I don't have anything to do, so I just thought I could cut this
Yeah,
up.
okay. Yeah.
No, those are the primitive areas which, as educated people, they need to give education everywhere. Don't cut trees down. How can we stop this global warming that is coming? Everyone is running out of water. Big factories are building a lot of houses. It's also just savageness, because if we can invest in good things, then everything will be good.
Yeah, so true.
Promote good mindset, not bad mindset.
Bingo.
That's the key for the world to have peace.
Absolutely, so true, man. Absolutely bang on there. Promote a good mindset, and that's. We need to be happier with less. I think, you know, we need to be happier with just being able to survive in nature or live off the land. You know, people need to appreciate that again, and I think we've lost that certainly in the last 100 years. You know, with the rise of cars and all this stuff, and now we need so many things, you know, to feel happy or content, and it's utter crap. It's just through the media and advertisement and things like that we've got into our heads now that we need an Amazon Alexa to get by now, you know. We need some sort of robot thing to turn the lights on. We're like, no, you can use your hand. You can still do that, you know. People just need, a shake now and again. And like I say, it's not like we're ahead of the curve here. We're just, it's good to see this. It's great to have conversations like this, and it's true, you know. It's but people are just starting to lose sight. Not everyone, but you know, the majority, it seems.
Yes. So that's the part, and you wanted more to understand about the Kingfisher in the coming 3 years or 5 years. For now, we are helping few kids that are getting school attention, because in Malawi is a very poverty country, but it's only that the governance is very poor. But I'm looking like in 3 years coming, I'm also investing in the good governing of our country, but I'm talking to the politicians so they can come down and look at what we can find the good ways of how we can come up with the good measurements, how we can land government fund and all of that.
Amazing.
Because what we are seeing is just the president buying a lot of mansions in the United States, the ministers buying houses in South Africa in big areas. So yeah, it's without us youth talking more about it to control these crooked politicians, nothing will come up, because it's our own hands that can bring good infrastructure at our homes. So this is what I'm looking at. Like in 3 years, we need to see a change in our home countries. And I'm sure if we work together and you keep up interviewing me and understanding where I'm at, it will give me strength to push more for better good. And when 2019 you come to Malawi, I will drive with you in places where I'll be conducting my meetings so that you understand what I'm saying. You can really see it with your own eyes.
That'd be amazing.
I'm not just a person where you can jump on, but I really actions. So in 2019, when we go there, January, we'll stop over in a few meetings that I'll be conducting to tell people to do the right thing, not the bad things.
I'd love to. No, I'm really excited for that, I must say. So yeah, so the next sort of few years, you want to start getting a bit more politically involved and seeing, just try and make a bigger change.
Not physically political involved, but just to control their bad mindset of destroying government funds into their own pockets.
Fantastic.
Because as we are Kingfisher, we are far, we are NGO, but we can also see and say no to that and yes to this. So I'll be just sightseeing, and then when you come, we'll have time of.
Fantastic.
Maybe we can drive around in a few areas where we can do the right thing when you are there.
Sounds amazing. Sounds so good, man. Well, that mate, I've loved that conversation. So thank you. And I think the audio, I'll review it and I'll take a look and see what I can do with the power of technology these days to try and smooth it out a little bit.
And when you finish, you can send me an audio to the WhatsApp so also I can listen to it.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, no doubt. So I'll let you listen to this. You can put it on your website if you feel like, if you want a little bit of something, a Q&A or something on your website, you can use this clip as well. But mate, that's been fantastic. Really appreciate it. And it's quite a serious one. Usually we're a bit more upbeat than that, aren't we? Usually we're having a bit more of a joke, but I think it's important to get this kind of message out, So, and like I say, we'll do this many times, I'm sure.
Yes. And everything that comes up on our side, I'll be happy to share with you and update you.
I'd love to. I'd love that. Really would. No, you're doing a great thing, mate. And we'll be in touch. I'll give you a bell soon. But yeah, I'll take that audio and we'll see what we can do with that. That was superb, mate.
Okay,
cheers, H. I'll stop the audio there, my man, and then we can keep talking for a little bit. Bankwood Bear Productions.
Cheap and chill.